Hi, welcome to Milk and Cookies with Mom and Dad, episode 3.
So, this episode we were going to turn the tables on the kids because last episode got a little heavy. So, which isn't a bad thing, but we're going to go ahead and we decided we will interview the kids today and ask them some questions off the cuff and see how they do. So, the first question I want to ask, and who wants to answer it, is I want to hear about...
First, let's hear the question and then we'll decide.
I want to hear, what did you enjoy most this past school year? What was your most favorite memory or your most memorable part, or what did you enjoy the most?
Okay, so think about it for just a moment.
I already got mine.
Oh, okay, good.
So tell me, what is it? So
mine is whenever we did Color Wars on Wednesday and on Monday at school.
So what are Color Wars? Because there may be some people that don't know what that is.
It's like,
I've done Color Wars before.
it's where you're on either pink team,
You
green,
could just say multicolors.
yellow, blue.
You don't have to
And
remember
that's
all
it.
of them. There's just multicolors.
Judah, let her share her story.
I know what it
Judah,
is.
let her share her story.
Sure.
And whatever team you're on. So if it's like the first day, you have to do like this walk where
Judah, what do you...
sounds like an elephant.
I think it's hilarious. You've been fine all night until we decide to get on, and then you
If
decide
it's
to...
going to be a problem, then we'll just cancel.
No.
Okay. Okay.
So you have this team. I was on green team, and it's close to blue. But if you get like in the pink or yellow, then that means yellow is like you're kind of good. Pink is like you're down in the dumpster.
Oh, man.
You're down in the dumpster about what?
Cause you've been
Your
like
classwork.
your classwork, your grades are bad. You've been to the office before.
Wow.
So y'all are ranking, so they pick these teams based off of...
Here, I can.
Judah, I'm just going to
like
mute your
that.
mic. I'm going to mute your mic if you keep doing that. Do you hear me?
Do what?
If you
You
keep
keep
sniffling
snorting.
and blowing your nose in the mic, I'm going to mute the whole thing. Because it's super loud. So, Sophie, in the 4th grade
I
jungle...
can explain.
Judah, this is her story. In the 4th grade jungle at your school, they rate you, and then they put you on different colors based off how good you are, quote unquote, some rubric. And then what happens?
I can go in from your.
And
It's her story.
And it's after you get on the team and after like attendance and pledge of allegiance, then you go, and it's like, so first you go to the group. Well, you actually stay in your homeroom until it's time to switch. So my group is the last rotation, and I travel with the rest of the colors. And I'm in group 6, I know that. So group 6 travels.
So were you in the jungle? Were you on the pink team, the jungle team? Okay.
I was on green.
What's green?
Green is like you've been good all week, your grades are good, and
But it's not blue.
No, blue is really good. It's kind of like the hyenas whenever Mommy was a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Like the hyenas it's like the highest group of all the colors.
Mm-hmm.
And that one is, I think it's like where you are good, like all the grades that you have gotten is good.
Okay, so what did you like most about the Color Wars?
Is that this week I actually got an award. And
You didn't have school this week.
no, like last
That week, the Color Guard week, or the Color Wars week.
Yes.
Okay, so you got an award. What award did you get?
Second place.
Second place
for my grades and how my team worked out the problems, like the math problems and the writing and reading and the rest of the rotations.
Oh, okay. So, what did y'all actually do during Color Wars that was so much fun?
It wasn't actually like wars. Like
Because you came home covered in different colors.
Because the teachers get to throw color powder at you
So there's some stress relief for the teachers.
at the end.
So they can chunk colors at the different colored teams that they don't like because they don't show up or do their grades. So it's a little bit of, even the score at the end of the year. That's okay. Okay. I see it. Everybody needs it a little bit,
But
throw some colors at kids.
everybody gets powdered. But
Everybody
not the
gets powder.
teachers.
Do you get to, what?
The teachers don't get powdered.
You don't get to throw powder at the teachers?
Hey, Daddy.
What?
So, it was like 2 years ago whenever I did my Color Wars. It was at Nana's one, and we actually got to scoop it up and
You
throw
were
it at other
pink too,
kids.
weren't you?
No, I was Sonic color. I was dark blue, literally. I had dark blue all over my
Literally.
face. I was covered in blue smoke.
The first time I did,
smokish.
Do y'all do a lap and like run around the track, don't
No,
you?
no.
No,
No, usually
You weren't in
they're
the
just-
4th grade Color Wars, mister.
Stop.
I've
You need to.
seen it.
It's your
Okay,
story
but
next.
Your story isn't right now.
So the first time I did Color Wars, I got no color on my face or on my skin.
Okay, and this time?
This time I got blue. Well, the first time I got pink and blue in my hair.
But you never said like what you liked most about it. So why did you enjoy Color Wars so much?
Because I liked the games that we played.
Oh, okay.
What kind of games were they?
And we did trash ball in Miss Bird's room. And then we played a Kahoot. And one person from the team has to play Kahoot, and the other two, because there only can be like 3 or 2 people. And there was 3 people in my group, or either like 4 or 3 or maybe 2. And then so with
So you
Miss-
played Kahoot, y'all played trash can ball.
no trash ball with
Trash
Miss
can ball.
Bird.
That's trash can ball. What else?
With Miss Birch, and with Miss Goff we played Kahoot, and then with Miss Mendoza we like played a game. I can't remember what it's called, but we played that game, and then we played with Miss Guerrero. We played Quizlet, and then Miss Skinner. She's on the green team, and she did stinky sock.
What?
Oh,
She smelled your socks because your
No.
socks are stinky.
No, like it was,
Actually, Sophie is the only child in the family that doesn't have foot stank. Everybody else has foot stank. Sophie's don't stink.
including you.
Thank you.
Judah, that's not nice to say to your
Genetics
mom.
run deep.
Thank you.
Genetics run deep.
Okay, continue.
And like it was this game where it's called Stinky Socks, and whoever's team wins, it's like points, and whoever team wins gets candy.
Oh,
I
okay.
did not win.
Okay, so Judah, what was your favorite part? What was your favorite memory from the school year?
What was your favorite memory?
I really didn't have one.
Okay, what did you enjoy most about second grade?
Annoying my teacher.
Annoying your teacher? Doing what?
Not listening sometimes, just like, so whenever I sit in my chair, I always push back.
Is that where the twins get it?
And I almost never ever raise my hand. And like towards the last few days of school, she was like, "Dude, raise your hand." And then I did it, and she made everybody clap.
Miss Charles has a really
wow,
good
it's
sense of humor. She's
magic.
awesome. I love Miss Charles. I loved all y'all's teachers. All of y'all's teachers were wonderful. Are wonderful people. I'm very thankful for them. Okay, so that's all you have is annoying your teacher.
Yes.
I know that she's rejoicing that you're no longer in her class. Are you excited about GT Academy? What expectations do you have for GT Academy?
Read.
Sit up by the mic. so
You're
I
gonna
can hear you.
read?
Read.
Oh, you're excited about reading? Okay. Do you want to share what book you have right now? What book you got at the library today?
Iceberg.
Okay, and what's it about? What genre of book is it?
Titanic.
No, genre.
Class 3 of Titanic.
So, is it
Non-fiction, fiction.
Fiction. I don't
That's
know
why
what
that's a
genre
big
is.
fifth grader over here bringing you back home.
No,
Mr.
that
Big
book
Britches.
is like 7th to 8th graders.
What is it? Historic fiction?
Pretty
We
sure.
haven't learned that one yet.
I think it's considered like historical
Fiction.
biography.
Was it a true story?
Wait, no, I take that back. I
Or
know.
is it a
historical
make-believe realistic story?
I
Yeah,
think it's
probably it's make
So it'd be a
believe.
historic fiction, right?
yeah.
Yes.
But it's about
fiction.
I mean it's told in the perspective of the
Yeah, but I
character.
think it's called a historic fiction because
Wait.
it's about
I should know this. I was an ELA teacher. It's not is it true?
It didn't have any pictures. It was just words, and it didn't have like.
No, but is it a
that's
true
called
story?
A real book. A real book doesn't have
I know.
pictures.
No,
I know, but some books do for little
No,
children.
Is it
No.
a true story? I don't remember.
no, it is not.
Okay, so then yeah, it's historical fiction.
make-believe.
Okay, then it is called historical fiction because it's based off of something that really did happen, but it's a made up story.
Yeah, it's just like telling you what would happen on like level 2.
She
level
was in
3.
third class. She was in
Third
third
class.
class.
So
Yes.
welcome to the party.
Yes.
We're back to it was a historical fiction.
Stop.
And so if you're not in elementary anymore, so
What are you looking forward to at your what new school are you going to go to?
Is she senior?
no, she's not a senior. Don't
Don't age me before my time.
put that curse on me.
Is she a junior?
Sophie, what new school are you going to this
She
year?
a junior?
Brazos Park Christian School.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Okay, what expectation do you have?
That I get to meet new friends and that I get to see the twins.
You do. You get to be with the twins. And Judah, you're going to be at a totally different school. What school are you going to be at?
TW Log.
Yeah. Do you remember the names of your new teachers?
Absolutely not.
I showed them to you today.
Yeah, I don't.
They both start with an M.
Miss Menard.
No, Miss Montoya and Miss Mealy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You should write that down on a piece of paper.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. What are you looking forward to most about summer?
So this is just summer and school questions.
No. This is where we're starting. So what are you looking forward to most about summer?
Going to Missouri.
Missouri.
I call it misery. I like it like that. I
Okay.
like it misery. Misery. Tennessee.
Wait, what? We're going to Tennessee?
Yeah.
Well, this is what Mom wants. Mom wants to go see our family in Missouri on their farm.
Misery.
Family in Missouri.
Misery.
Yes, remember Andy and Tiffany?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna go. I want to go see them and enjoy or visit the farm. And then from Missouri, I want to go to Kentucky to go see the Ark Museum.
What is the Ark Museum?
It's a replica. It's an exact replica
Mommy.
of the Ark that Noah built. It's a replica
I'm
of
pretty
the Ark.
sure we don't want to
Wait.
look at that.
I do.
Well, we
It's
don't.
part of the Bible, Judah. You need to
So
learn something from that.
the Ark Museum, and then I want to go to Tennessee to see the Titanic Museum.
Mom just wants to gallivant over Southeast
Yeah.
United States.
But I think we will be traveling through Missouri. doing that.
Misery.
Misery.
Yeah, I think
Some
it'll
people
be.
say it's misery.
Yeah. But okay, so
Sophie, what
Sophie.
are you looking forward to most about summer?
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
What I'm really looking forward to is sitting down and playing Fortnite.
What did we do today at the library? What did Mom make?
A summer schedule and our daily.
It's Velcro, so we
and
have different days of what's gonna happen that week. And if we don't like what's gonna happen, we can change it. And first, we have to make sure it's
Well,
okay.
and it also depends on the weather too. Like if it's raining outside, we're not going to go to the park, or we're not going to go to a splash pad. Or if we have a hailstorm in the middle of the summer, we're not going to go to a splash pad. So,
I'll make it fun.
yeah. And then the schedule is to give you guys an idea of what's okay and what's not okay. So what did we learn tonight when we came home? What time are you guys allowed to come downstairs?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock
Okay.
sharp.
So before then, what can you be doing?
Reading the twins a book. and
Or
telling them
cleaning your
what
room.
time it
Straightening up
is.
your room or getting ready for the day, right? So that whenever it is time to leave, you're not all coming downstairs in your PJs, right? Yep.
So 8 o'clock, you're supposed to be what? Downstairs and dressed, and ready to tackle the day
Yes.
with vigor.
We will see how well we do.
Mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever we wake up, like,
What if it's already like 9 o'clock?
Then you miss breakfast if
no.
you remember the schedule right. Stinks
no,
to be
I
you.
got a question.
We're already in
Like,
misery,
what if-
and you got left at home.
Like, what if it's like the plane is ready for us?
The plane?
What
I'm in
plane
the
are
car.
you going on?
I mean, the car.
I mean, I guess it's a spaceship. We used to call it our favorite rocket ship. Okay, continue what?
Like, if we get in the car, like, what time are we gonna get in the car if we're going on the Missouri trip?
We'll plan all that out. We don't know yet. I don't even know if it's actually going to happen.
Mom just keeps saying it because she's like, if I keep saying it, it'll just
I
happen.
really want it to happen because I think it would be a really cool trip.
And we really need to get out of this house.
And
We did get out of this house today. What are you talking
I
about?
know, like,
Miss, I just want to chill.
Yeah. Socialite.
You just like chilling, but at other people's houses. Because every day you're like, can I go?
Can
to
I go
so-and-so?
there? Can I go to this person's house? Can I go here? Can I go play with them? Yeah. Okay, next question, Dad.
Well, hang on. I want to go back to this chill. What is this chill until?
like, we just, we just sit together as a family and we spend time with each other.
That's for Saturday.
Judah got cut off. He's in a 5-minute
Ridiculous.
timeout on the
That
mic.
is ridiculous. Okay. All right, next question, Dad.
What do you like least about summer? I know Mom's answer.
I absolutely love this question.
You
Being
love
around
this.
girls.
Your whole house is girls' boys,
I
so you gotta get over
know.
that.
Judah,
Okay, so my son is looking for friends that are males his age. So if you have male children that are willing to play and just do guy things like running in the woods or running outside and getting sweaty and nasty and making weapons and things like that, please comment below and I will loan my son out to you for the day because he needs to be around little boys. He's had it with his sisters.
no, he's 8. He's like 8.
Actually, the fact that he uses one of the twin sisters as a punching bag, I draw the line. Like, they don't need to learn
do.
wrestling moves at the age of 3. Like, it's just too much.
She asked for it though.
Wait, which twins?
Which one do you think? Yes.
She asked for it.
She
though.
loves it.
She'll tackle him and
She
she'll take him
loves
to the
it.
ground.
I know. She will.
If y'all have ever watched The Croods, she's Sandy. She's like, gets that lockjaw and she'll get you.
Yeah. Release the Kraken.
Mom's least favorite thing about summer is mosquitoes.
I don't like mosquitoes and I don't like not having...
Sweating?
Oh, the other day we were in the car coming back from our Gigi's house, and out of nowhere, a skunk farted.
Right. And they didn't know what smell that was. They blamed it on me, blamed it on each other, and I said, no, that is from a skunk. But no, the other thing I don't like about summer is not having like a schedule. Like I don't I like knowing what we're doing.
I saw one on the wall.
You usually just make one every summer.
I know, that's what I put on the wall. So now I should be in a better mood. I do apologize for my moodiness, but it's very difficult.
Good.
Mom,
So, what do you like least about summer?
the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes?
The mosquitoes, yeah.
I don't ever really get bit.
I actually just kill 1 or 2 or 3 mosquitoes. They're like, I do not want to die today. Then they'll just.
Mom just leaves them on the window so that they know what's coming.
She'll kill them and just leave them smashed on the window.
It's like the Romans used to do, or like the barbarians. They left their victims for the other
As a warning.
unconquered. Yeah, for the other unconquered parties to see what would happen if they continued their nonsense.
Mommy,
But
you should tell the people what you're gonna ask God whenever you go in heaven.
there's several things. One is why the mosquitoes.
Probably to remember to honor.
Okay.
How's that honor?
I don't know. I'm gonna ask about the mosquitoes, and then I'm also gonna ask about
Ants.
the ants, fire ants. Like, other than a lesson about ants, you know, in Proverbs it talks about consider the ant. And I don't remember the rest of it, but just consider the ant. And I'm like, I don't want to consider the ant because I don't like them. And
They
then
clean the earth. If we didn't have ants right now, and everybody was, and everybody was just sitting inside the house, locked onto technology on Instagram, then it would be stinky.
I think earthworms clean the earth. I think that's their purpose, is to clean the earth.
Are ants decomposers?
I think they are. And,
I know I've heard of people when they shoot a deer, they'll put the skull in an ant bed to pick all the meat off of it.
Actually, whenever I was in biology, didn't you do that? Whenever we had to do the biology project and we took a frog, we had to dissect frogs. She told us to put it in an ant pile
Yeah.
to strip it down to just the bones.
And then bleach it until it got white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
What is your... We'll start with Soph while you're having a sneezing attack. I'm going to mute you. Soph, what is your goal for next year? What is the main thing that you want to achieve next year in school, academically?
What does that mean?
Like learning. What's the main thing you want to learn next year?
There's a lot of things.
Okay. Well, you can explain.
Okay, what's the question?
What's a goal you have for
What's
next
the main
year?
thing you want to learn next year, the goal for next year?
I think the more you do that,
More history.
you want to learn about more history. You want to learn more history.
I want to learn.
Dude's face.
What do you want to learn, Soph?
I want to learn how to write better, because whenever I write, my writing is not very.
Your creativity in your writing is very good, but you're just talking about your penmanship,
Yeah, handwriting?
your handwriting. Yeah, I would agree.
She tries to write cursive. While try writing print at the same time, so that's what messes
Yeah,
it
you
up.
know, when I was in third grade, that was a requirement. Like, we had to learn how to write in cursive, so we had practice daily cursive writing because we had to write in
No,
cursive.
she wants to write cursive and print at the same time.
That's what I do now as an adult. Yeah, because when we did what was called the TOS, we took the state test called the TOS test, and on the TOS test, we didn't get to type on a computer. We had to handwrite a composition, and it was a narrative, and it had to be in cursive for it to be graded.
Because back then, handwriting was considered important, and now
It's not,
it's not anymore because culture has
because
changed.
culture changed.
Yeah,
But
we-
who hasn't changed?
God.
Right. So just because culture changes and shifts doesn't mean that God shifts or changes with the culture. Right?
I one time I wrote like 1,000 letters, in one passage, and I used like 2 pages. Like one full page
Judah.
back and front.
Wow.
So did my friend,
Yeah.
Bubba,
but really wasn't my friend.
one time in 3rd grade, I would just sit in my seat and write like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah, you're a really good writer. You're very creative at writing. It's just your penmanship. We can work on your penmanship. Okay, so Judah history, Sophie writing. Okay, next.
So my friend was like one of the last people. Me and a friend were one of the last people.
I was about to say, that's a miracle you had a friend. Because you said you try to annoy everybody.
It's really not.
So,
it's
question.
not my friend.
Question. If you could pick and pick a vacation for us to take this summer or a place to go, what would you pick and why?
I know Judah's. He wants to go so bad.
Italy.
You would pick Italy. Why is that?
Cause I want to see the history.
Girl, I'm so glad that didn't come out the other end.
There's a lot of history in the States where you don't have to go to Italy. But why Italy? History. Italian history.
I also want to go to the Caribbean and just somewhat swim and look at the fish.
Yeah. it's
Like
snorkel.
snorkel?
He wants to go scuba diving.
We had talked about taking a cruise in November, right? So we'll see if that can
Who's
actually
gonna
happen.
keep the twins?
Girl, they going.
You are.
Okay, so where would you pick?
I would pick.
Memories are floating off in distant space.
I would choose. There's a lot of places I want to go.
Okay, well, what's the first one off the top of your head?
I think I know it.
Don't say it. Let her say it.
I think I want to go to Mexico.
You want to go to Mexico?
It only takes like 2 hours to get there.
What do you want to do in Mexico?
I want to try new food.
New food. Your Gigi makes Mexican food all the time.
You want to see the
No.
changos? You want to see the Tueres changos?
That's not even a
I
word.
know, but if you mix it with other languages, it means you're a monkey.
No, chango is not a word. We've
Well,
already
do you
had
wanna
this
see
discussion.
I want to
Monkeys.
look at different animals.
Okay, so you want to go to like somewhere tropical to see, yeah.
A
Okay.
rainforest?
And Hawaii.
Yeah, she's really wanting to.
Did you know that when your daddy was, when we were in high school, your daddy actually
Big way.
he got a letter from the University of Hawaii to come play football, and that was
Daddy played
something that
Hawaii
he
football.
he played football in high school, and he was so talented that the University of Hawaii invited him to come play.
I think he broke his.
I don't know how to learn how to dance like Maui.
No, he didn't break anything, but we found out that he had a bleeding disorder, and so he
What's a
felt
bleeding disorder?
so whenever you get cut, your body produces a chain reaction to stop the bleeding, right? To clot. So daddy is missing one of those chains in the link.
Right now?
Yes. And so his body doesn't know
I was trying to find it.
how quickly or how efficiently it needs to clot, and so it changes. So one time when he was playing, that's how they found it. When he was playing football, he blacked out because he had a brain bleed.
No.
Oh, what did you have?
I didn't have a brain bleed.
You didn't have a brain bleed. Sorry.
No. Off season. And off season, it started because
But you passed out. You blacked out.
that was because of blood pressure. That wasn't because of the bleeding.
But what was the bleeding from?
working out. Whenever I'd go over 300,
Oh, and he would bruise.
when I'd go over 300 pounds lifting on whatever, I
He
would
would
bruise
bruise
down
really,
my
really
back
bad.
and down my sides.
So they told him he couldn't play football anymore. He didn't have a brain bleed. Sorry. Sorry.
She's making a
But-
pretty in-depth
but how
story
did
over
you-
here.
No, but you
How
don't
did
have
you
a clotting. You don't clot
Yeah.
normal. You do have a clotting
How
disorder.
did you get the football trophy that you have in our garage?
That's not a football trophy.
That's
That's, your
not-
Uncle Thad deciding that they need to have
It's
a
the World
racquetball.
Championship
Oh my
racquetball
goodness.
trophy
Yeah,
that
wow.
Uncle Thad made and brought down because before y'all were born and when y'all were real little,
And when you have a friend that's in homeschool,
every time that he came down, we would have to go play half a day of racquetball and keep the score. And whoever wins gets to keep the trophy until the next trip. So if you notice, that trophy's been in the garage for a long time, hasn't it?
yeah,
That means that there's a champ is here. Okay? That means we brought home the gold. Okay? We're gonna win. And we
wow.
won. There was injuries and there was bodies laid out on the floor, but we brought home the gold. Okay? Whatever it takes to win.
Okay, all right.
So it's made out of plastic?
Yes.
Yes, it's made out. No, it's made out of sweat and tears and blood.
Wow. Okay. Anything else?
I thought that was a football.
No.
No, it's a
a
racquetball. Racquetball champion of the world.
Okay. Anything else?
Then, what?
Questions?
So you want to go to Mexico to go to the
She wants to see
rainforest?
tropical animals and try new food.
Mom wants to go all over the southeast.
Yeah, I want to stay in the United States. I have no desire to travel outside the United States.
Why?
And about Hawaii, I want to try I want to try coconuts. Coconut.
Okay, we can get those at HEB.
We can?
It's a
Yeah,
little cheaper.
it's a little cheaper, but yeah,
But they have really good pineapples in Hawaii
yeah,
too.
they do. They do have.
They
really good
grow a lot of
pineapple.
pineapples on the
And
island.
I love pineapples.
Can I try the pineapple?
I think you can actually order some and they'll ship them to you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, any more questions?
I didn't have any more interview questions for them tonight. Did y'all have any for us?
Yeah?
Okay, what?
Sophie and I?
No, you.
Did we finish the Bible stories last time?
No.
All right, what was the last Bible story? So who
Mine.
didn't get to go? You?
Sophie talked. You didn't get to really say anything.
So what was the Bible story that you struggle with sometimes or you may have questions with?
Just in general, all of the stories.
That's not true.
That's not true.
I have
All of
questions
them
on
except
most
for
of them.
Revelation.
You have questions on multiple stories. That's fine, but
You said, in general, all of the stories.
yeah, and that's not true because
Yeah,
you
put your head
you have a
on the mic.
really good understanding of most
Like
of
this?
them. But which one do you struggle with?
Which one do I struggle with? I mean, there's quite a few that I struggle with.
Okay, well, name one. What is it about it that you struggle with?
I don't know.
Okay.
Some of them I just read and then I'm like, okay, well, what did I learn? And then I'm like, I have no idea.
Well, we have a book for that.
What is it?
The Bible recap.
What stories have you read that you were like, what did I learn from that?
I don't know. I mean, I really haven't read a lot of books. I just teach them. No, not teach. I just learn them from Miss Stephanie, and then I forget them.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. We need to work on retaining them when we learn them, because that's where the value comes from. But, so did y'all have any questions for us tonight?
I do.
All right, what's your question?
I only have like 2.
Okay.
The first.
You gotta talk in the mic, so if you can't, put your head under.
The first question is, why, okay, I have a story. I lost track of thought. I got it.
Okay.
My favorite Bible story is the New Jerusalem, but sometimes I really don't understand it.
You like the idea, but you don't know what it means. So, do you want me to help you understand what it
New
means?
heaven, new earth, and new Jerusalem.
So the new heaven and new earth come because when the new
When
heaven and
the
new earth.
first earth and first heaven have passed away.
Right. So it's in Revelation.
It's Revelation chapter 21, verse 1 through 27.
So, in there, what it's talking about is when the fall happened, when Adam and Eve sinned, all of creation got broken. Meaning everything that we see, the complete beauty that we think we see in nature and in the world, is the broken design. The design of the Godhead that was broken. It's like one of the things that Siri and them will talk about sometimes is that it's like a junkyard of what God intended. And so even though it's breathtaking, some things are breathtaking and just what we think are beautiful are just incremental.
Mix-ups.
Well, they're not mess ups. They're just not the way God intended it to be. So what God intended it was so much more beautiful than what we feel like we see. So the new heaven and new earth, the new heaven and new earth consumes the first heaven and the first earth, because at that point we'll be living for eternity. And where we live now is what's called temporal, which means it's for a small period of time. Now it may seem like a long time, like your lifetime, but in the big picture, in God's picture of eternity, it's a small period of time. Mm-hmm. So the new heaven and new earth represents the new creation and the rebirth, not reincarnation, but the re-establishment of God's original design for what he intended for us. And then the new Jerusalem that comes down is the city where God dwells with all the people that are there to serve with him and live with him in community. And it actually gives the dimensions of what the new Jerusalem will look like.
Ginormous cube.
Yeah. I wanted to say it was something like almost, it was like over 1,000 miles by 1,000 miles by 1,000 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it actually gives the exact.
What sticks out of my head up was like 1,200.
I don't remember.
I want to say the actual measurement in miles was like 1,200 by 1,200 by 1,200.
I'm just going to be honest, like, I get intimidated by Revelation. Sometimes I get scared of Revelation. I know it's important, and I know that we're supposed to read it. But it intimidates me. I get scared sometimes. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I have a hard time reading Revelation.
Me too. Not really, but me too.
I don't.
Okay.
That's a good question, but the point of the New Jerusalem is it says that we will rule and reign with God. And so the new heaven and the new earth is the atmosphere or the place where we're ruling, and the New Jerusalem is the actual embodiment of this city that will dwell with God. It says that there will be no seas, and it says that there will be no sun, because the Lamb, God, Jesus, is the sun. Mm-hmm.
But there will be no night.
But you know what it also says? What is just as important to understand exists as the new heaven and the new earth and the new Jerusalem is that there will be a lake of fire. Yes. And there will be hell. And that's eternal darkness, because God's not there. There is no God there. God's not there.
Except for...
No, there isn't. The devil's not a God. The devil's a created being. Remember we covered that last time?
Yes.
So, it's eternal separation from God and complete isolation. Whereas heaven is eternal light, because Jesus, God, is the light, the Trinity, as well as community. The whole thing's about community, which is why we're created to be communal beings, which means we're created to be with people.
have another question.
Will there be any shops?
What do you mean? Like stores? No, I don't. Judah, you can't do that in the mic.
Daddy, I actually have a question for that.
Let me answer that just a split second and then we'll go back. So I don't think there are going to be shops per se because there's not going to need to be what you would call like commerce or like trading because that's all part of the fall because we have to work to sustain our body. We'll have to work the field by this. We'll work the field by the sweat of our brow to sustain life. And the concept of money is a relatively new concept in the scheme of the world, especially fiat currencies, but we won't get into that. But the idea of doing shops like we have now, I do not think will be there because Jesus and God sustains us. But there is community in the fact that there is interaction with people, and it talks about a really big party called the marriage supper of the Lamb. And there's a really big party because it says Jesus goes and it prepares a table for us and a place in his Father's house. And you could probably make an argument that his Father's house is the New Jerusalem. And he's preparing a place for every believer in the New Jerusalem. And because he says there will be many rooms and many habitations.
If it were not so, I would not have told you.
Right. So, but it doesn't really talk about shops, but it does talk about a lot of relationships and existing. And when I say community, I mean there's relationships with people interacting with other people.
One last question.
It's Soph's turn. You've already had
Will we be able to talk?
Yes, there's a form of communication that's there because it talks about when Paul was called up to heaven and was able to observe it. The people that were under the throne were interacting and talking with God and talking with the angels, and there was interactions. The way that I read it, I think that we'll be able to walk and talk with
Like Moses and Abraham.
and God himself as well, and he will explain to us what actually happened. I'm
excited to meet Peter.
This is my personal belief. I also think there will be an aspect of exploring.
What does that mean?
Exploring God's creation, the rest of the creation that he created for us. I think there will be an aspect of exploring it to see the fullness of who he really is.
Because right now we see in part
And we know
as
in
through
part.
like a broken mirror and broken glass. But we will see fully who he is and what
And-
he's created for us.
And so I think we'll be able to learn more about his full creation and what he truly meant for everything in that time. And I think because we're there for forever.
And I also think it's interesting too that it says in scripture that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind can fathom what God has prepared for those who love him.
So if
So-
he prepared it, he had a plan. And if he had a plan, he has something he wants to reveal to you.
Yeah.
That's why I think there's a component of exploration. Sophie, what was your question? Thank you for waiting patiently, first of all.
Whenever it talked about the new heaven and the new earth, well, was God, the creation gonna start all over again, or?
Let mom take this one.
Well, he's going to make it all new as it was in the beginning, before the fall, before sin entered the world. He's going to remake everything new to go according to his perfect plan, to his perfect will for us. Because what he intended isn't what we see, just like Daddy said. What he wanted for us isn't what we see every day. So yes, he's going to create, it will be
Black?
different than whatever has been, because he's going to make it all new.
But we don't subscribe. We don't believe that he's going to create a new world with another race that starts over the whole chain
No,
because
what I'm saying is like this, like whenever that day comes, like is everything like gonna like start all over again on it?
This won't. What we see now won't be here.
It will. Everything that you've ever
not
seen.
like another world, but
No,
like
but
the same planet.
yeah, I'm answering your question. Everything you've ever seen or you ever known is going to be consumed by fire and burned up. But we will be gone before then. Because scripture says that he will call all of us in the twinkling of an eye. And he will meet us in the sky. And that's when you hear at church people talk about the rapture or the second coming of Christ. That will happen before that. But at the very end, there will be a fire from heaven will come down and consume the entire earth. And will burn everything on earth.
With people still on it?
The unbelievers.
Which that is a lake of fire?
That's after the judgment.
We learned that tonight. There's actually 2 judgments. So there's a judgment for believers and there's a judgment for non-believers. The judgment for believers is called
The judgment seat of Christ.
Thank you. The judgment seat of Christ. And then for non-believers, it's the great white throne of judgment. So there's actually going to be 2 different, and the way that you live will determine,
No, your belief.
the way that you believe will determine where you end up. And then the way that you live will determine the rewards that you receive in heaven.
Or hell.
Or if you're an unbeliever, the way that you lived your life, you'll be.
Because God's a just God.
Yeah.
And so it's really heavy. But
Yeah, tonight was really heavy.
You receive rewards or punishment. Really
That's the word I was
both.
looking for. Punishment.
You can have punishment, not punishment by suffering loss in heaven, which scripture talks about. Your works will be burned up like wood, hay, and stubble. And you will still be there, but you'll escape as if a man coming through fire, but you will experience loss. And then in hell, it talks about the level, or the type, not level, the intensity of the torment will be dependent on
The way that you chose to live.
your behavior, which you'll hear people say you're saved by faith, but works are important. So your choice and belief that God exists or doesn't decides if you're at the judgment seat of Christ or the great white throne. And then when you're there, your works or your actions then decide what the outcome is based off your behavior. So your belief determines where you're at, and your behavior determines how you live there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Tonight was really heavy. So, but it's important. What I took away from that is I mess up all the time, right? Mommy messes up all the time, and I can't stay there. Like, I can't think about how bad I messed up that day, or I can't think about where I failed the Lord. But what I can think about is continuing to choose to live a life of obedience and continuing to choose to live a life that serves Him, that seeks to serve Him, teaching you guys and raising you guys in a way that teaches you to be obedient to the Lord. But also understanding the weight of my words, the things that I say, because we have to give, Scripture says that we're going to have to give an account for every idle word that we say.
Every person,
Everybody.
believers, non-believers, will have to give an account for every word or action or thought that they spoke, did, or had before God. And so that's why it's important when we talk to y'all and when we ask you to do something and you don't listen and we have to discipline you, or you either have to ground you or you get spanked or you have other issues. The whole point of that isn't because mommy or dad wants to control what you do. We're trying to teach you to be obedient, to listen to us because it's authority, so that you learn how to listen to God, because that's what matters.
Ultimately, yeah.
But the twins don't understand that.
Well, because they're at an age right now where they're still learning.
And y'all didn't when you were at that age
Right,
either.
no. You guys didn't either. Judah's famous words when he was 3 was what? I got. Nana, I got.
3 spankings.
3 spankers. I've got 3 spankers.
So Judah got in the car one day and was bragging to my mom when he got picked up from school that he got 3 spankers. That there was one at school, one at home, and one at Nana's house. Just to make sure that he got spanked everywhere because he was having such a challenging time learning what boundaries and rules were.
Right. So that's where the twins are now. You know, they're at what we call the age of innocence, where they're still trying to really, it just shows our sinful nature. Like, people think that we're inherently good, and it just shows you that we're not. We're inherently, you know, our desire is to please ourselves and very selfish. But you have to teach them, you know, it's about obedience because we love the Lord. You love me, or to show that you love me, you obey what I command, is what Jesus told his disciples. That's what's going to set you apart from, you know, people that are around you. But anyway, the point is, it's important how you live the life that you've been entrusted, and you only get one opportunity. So first and foremost, know Jesus, know who he is, and have a relationship with him. That's the most important relationship that you can have. Number 2, be very, very careful how you live your life, what you do with your talents that he's entrusted to you, your giftings and your abilities. And I mean, Siri sums it up so beautifully. He says, love God and do what he says. That's how you live this life.
Be everywhere he is and know where he isn't.
I have one last question.
I think we're over
This is
time.
my final one. In heaven, will we be able to like get older and grow?
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to have a fixed, one of my favorite people calls it heaven suits. That we're going to have a fixed, transfigured, what the Bible calls transfigured body. And you see that on Mount Sinai, on the Mount Transfiguration. Then you see it after.
Wasn't it Mount of Olives?
I
think it was Mount of Olives. Okay.
But you have the Transfiguration, and then you also have after Jesus rose from the dead, his transfigured body, and that he was able to walk through walls. He was able to do other things.
He was able to eat. We're going to get to eat in heaven. I'm excited. I'm most excited about lamb. You know Jesus is going to make really good lamb.
But isn't he the lamb?
I don't know.
What?
You may have to talk to Mom about
He's
that
the
one.
perfect, yes, he was the perfect sacrificial lamb. Yes, but we're not going to eat him. That's just weird.
But to answer your
How did he
question,
come back to life?
but to,
Actually, you know what? I don't think there's going to be meat like that. I don't, because
what?
I don't think that was, sacrifice didn't have to be made in the Garden of Eden. And that would be the only
Death.
purpose. That would be the only purpose to eat meat, is to sacrifice.
Well, not to eat it. It's the eating of the meat was a byproduct of killing it. To sustain the body, you didn't have to.
I think we're done. Okay, that's
You
another
didn't-
conversation.
Okay.
Okay.
But to answer your question, Judah, then I think that we will not have aging bodies. We'll be in a state that is eternal. It probably transcends, which means it's bigger than our understanding. But I don't think that will age. It will be a constant.
Yeah.
But so
It's
looks
been
like a deer in the headlights.
Fun.
over
Yeah,
here.
I know. It's heavy. A lot of things about Scripture is heavy. I say heavy, but a lot of things about Scripture, that's the thing about our minds. Our minds are so, they understand only what we can see, feel, and touch. But that's where we ask the Holy Spirit to help us understand, because he reveals the deep things of God. The Holy Spirit will.
Can
And
I
I think it's
close?
important, though, that we don't shy away from these conversations with our kids, because they have real questions, and we need to be able to prepare ourselves where we can give them real answers. Even if we don't know it initially, we can say there's no shame in saying, hey, I don't know that. We can go look it up.
Yeah.
And working through it with them. But the world is competing to steal their innocence. So there's no point of burying your head in the sand and not answering the tough questions that your kids have. Because I think if they need to know that they can come to you, and even if you don't have the answer, you can help them find it, because somebody in the world will try to give them an answer, and you'd rather give it to them from a biblical perspective than a
Or what
worldly
we
view.
call is a biblical worldview.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Judah, are you going to close us out? As long as you don't sneeze or cough or blow
Blow
your
your nose,
nose
whatever.
through the mic.
Thank you for watching Milk and Cookies with Mom and Dad episode 3. Like, subscribe. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.